Hello and welcome to another episode of Raman Rewind. In this episode, I'm going to be paying a tribute to one of the members of the spin quartet, a former Indian captain, and of course, one of the legends of Indian cricket. It is none other than the left-arm spinner of that quartet, Bishan Bedi. And everything that he did when he had a ball with hand was sheer magic. And even his run-up and the way he delivered the ball made it look so easy. Normally we talk about batters making it look easy, but Bishan Bedi really made it look easy when he bowled. And people even today still marvel at the way in which he floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee. He was always one who was the center of attraction because of his boisterous nature and his fun-loving disposition. I came across Bishan Bedi first when I was a part of the summer camp organized by the BCCI, and he was called along with S. Venkataraman to inspire and spend some time to impart some knowledge to the young budding spinners of that camp. Yes, don't be surprised. I was one of them because I started off my career as a left-arm spinner. No sooner than we finished that session, he caught hold of us and said, let's do some exercises, lads, because Bishan Bedi, when he got onto the cricket field and he was in the company of some cricketers, training is never far away. And he almost had a fetish for training. He trained himself during his playing days, and he also made the cricketers years handling train as well. And by the 15th minute, we were all feeling a little bit giddy because we were young and we had a long session. And in fact, one of the spinners almost swooned because he couldn't take it any longer. But there it was, us getting a dose of what Bishan Bedi would do if you had a few sessions to spend with him. Much later, when I became a member of the Indian side and he was nominated as the coach of the Indian side in 1990, we had some great experiences on and off the field. Bishan Bedi, prior to the tour of New Zealand, had a 4-day camp, which is perhaps some norm then, because whenever you went abroad, the Indian team needed to have a camp. And of course, that was just the time that we had then as well. So the 4 days of camp that we had in New Delhi was absolutely hilarious. Much later, not while we were spending hours and hours on the ground. We got a taste of it, and that didn't end until we finished the tour of New Zealand, which was over a period of 7 weeks. A few months later, we had a camp in Bangalore prior to the tour of England, and that was relatively easier because Bishan Bedi realized that there is got to be a little bit of a balance between skill development and training prior to embarking on a tour. And he also obviously must have felt that he got a little bit too keyed up prior to the tour of New Zealand, and obviously the workload was much lesser than it was prior to the New Zealand series. In fact, all of us enjoyed that camp, and that is what stood us in good stead right through the tour of England. All of us were really fit, and we played some real good cricket, even though we did not go on to win the series. Bishan Bedi was managing the nets in New Zealand, and that is where we got a glimpse of what he was perhaps during his playing days, because he suddenly asked a question to Venkatapati Raju and Narendra Irwani, is the ball turning at all? So both the lads said, young spinners, budding spinners, they said, no Paji, nothing is happening on this drive because it's just going straight after pitching. So Bishan Bedi took a ball and then warmed up a little bit and started bowling. And there again, that smooth silk run-up and delivery stride was evident for us, even though at that particular point in time, he had a little bit of a knee problem. You could make out the kind of smoothness in his action and everything which he did when he had a ball in his hand. And there he was, he bowled a couple, and then the third one, by the time the batter stepped out and tried to reach out and play it, he was beaten all ends up. And Bishan Singh Bedi had a great laugh because he always reckoned that he enjoyed getting a batsman out stumped, because he said that he fooled the batsman twice, once in there, once off the pitch. And after he had a hearty laugh, he turned around, he looked at the spinners, Venkatapati Raju and Nirwan. He said, "The ball won't turn on its own. You got to turn the ball." And all of us there had a great laugh for the simple reason it was something of a sight to have watched him bowl and do it of the very third ball that he bowled, and especially after seeing the mainstream spinners not really getting the ball to deviate much. And obviously, the manner in which he said was also very hilarious for all of us. There's never a dull moment. He's always keeping everybody in splits with something or the other. And sometimes he did it even while we were engaged in a game. Of course, inadvertently. One of the instances that I can never forget is that we were playing a side game in New Zealand, and we obviously started batting after winning the toss. And I was batting. I was still batting till tea. And during tea time, as we are coming off the tea room, so Kapil Dev suddenly says that he was feeling a little bit giddy. I thought Kapil was pulling a fast one there. But he said, no, I'm feeling really sleepy and feeling, groggy kind of thing. So I went back on the field, and Kapil Dev was slotted to bat if another wicket or two fell. And I went back to the field, batted, carried on batting, came back at the end of the day. I was unbeaten, and there was Kapil Dev just waking up. So then I asked Caps as to what it was all about. He said he didn't know. And then next morning, we found out that Kapil Dev was given a pill by Bishan Bedi because he felt that he had a severe headache around tea time. And that Bishan Bedi had tossed a pill to him saying that he'd had one aspirin or something like that, which will get rid of Kapil Dev's headache. And to everybody's mirth, we found out that it did not cure his headache because Bishan Bedi had given Kapil Dev a sleeping pill inadvertently. No wonder Kapil Dev was knocked out for a couple of hours. And after that, we really took the piss out of Bishan Bedi. But there again, he is always a good sport. He could take any amount of ragging, and the only response you'll get from him was that, okay lads, you have your fun now, I'll have mine tomorrow morning. What that meant was that you better be prepared for a very strenuous workout the next morning. No, it was just a kind of banter. We all had a lot of respect for Bishan Bedi, like everybody who's seen him bowl, and if at all anybody perhaps felt that something Bishan need not have done was that he always took the tiger by its tail and got into a bit of tangle, and it didn't really matter to him. He would always have his say. He did not mince any words. He had his run-ins with the administrators on more occasions than one, but that's Bishan Bedi for you. He would always fight for what he felt were his rights. But overall, a very interesting character, and the good thing about what he did as a coach was that he ensured that everybody was well prepared. It did not matter whether you were a regular member of the side or not. He ensured that you were in touch with game, because he would always say you never know what can happen just on the eve of game. So that's experience for you. Bishan Singh Bedi was a phenomenal cricketer, and of course he is always full of fun, a boisterous individual, and a man who loved to have fun as well. Thank you, Paji, for all the great entertainment that you provided during your tenure as a coach, and of course also during all our meetings. I look forward to catching up with you soon. Yeah, that's it from me on this episode, and as I always say before I take leave of you, Until I catch up with you next time, be good and stay safe.